What's up, everybody? And thank you for tuning in to The Real for Real. We are here today, and we are definitely appreciative of all the folks who are following us, who have been following us from the get-go. And if this is your first time, thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notified when we post new stuff. Now, I want to introduce, a friend we got on here today. Man, I mean, the legend himself, Trevor McBride, is joining us. We got a guest.
Big Trev.
What's up, going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling all right. How y'all feeling?
Oh, man, we good, man. We had to ask you to come on because, ladies and gentlemen, this is a big Marvel fan, big MCU fan, big DCEU fan, big comic book fan, and he is a superhero guru. So I had to have my boy come through.
Wait a second. Hold up now.
You're the guru right there.
I had to have my boy come through, man, because I know you just recently saw Venom 2, which is a new hot release. And I know you went opening weekend to see it. So had to have you come through here.
Opening night.
See, and he's been inviting me to go opening night. Opening night. Come through, man. Come through. That midnight showing. Like, no, I'm good. No.
Yeah, Kevin, one of the folks who have to see the movie 3 weeks later.
Yeah. Kevin is not that dude.
Exactly. But since we started The Real for Real, I've been getting a little bit better with my superhero movies. So
he see it in the first weekend. Now.
Yeah.
Now I'm finally getting on it, man. So today we're going to be
Sunday
talking
at 10:30 service.
Huh? So today, everybody, we're going to be talking about Venom 2. Let there be a little bit of carnage and lukewarm Cletus. That's what we're going to be talking about.
If I may, before we get into Venom, I do got a couple of things to say since I'm here.
Oh, go ahead.
Hold on. This is The Real for Real, right? So we're going to be real, right?
This the real, yeah.
I mean, this the Real for Real. That's what we call it. Yeah.
All right. So, Kev, I'm going to need you to issue a retraction. A couple episodes ago, you referred to the gangsters and bad boys as Jamaicans.
Oh, I sure did. What are they?
They're Haitians.
They were Haitians?
All right.
Hold on. My boy pulling receipts on us? Pulling receipts?
Oh, man.
Hey, I think
He got me.
I was talking on that hot noise, too, and I was like...
You could have just sent me a text, bro. You could have just sent me a text.
But this is The Real for Real. We're going to be real here, right?
You're right. All right.
We in trouble, bro. Trouble.
I'm sorry. I didn't think I was on the Not For Real podcast. All right. So.
That's real.
See, y'all thought I'd be throwing shots. Here he is, man. Here he is.
He came in with the loaded guns, baby. Loaded. And he said dual pistol because I heard my name too. So
yeah.
Dual wielded.
I'll go get on you too because I don't know why you saying Goku is of Asian descent when technically he's an alien. I get what you were getting at. But he's a Saiyan. He's an alien. He's not.
Correction. I'm sorry to all my white brethren out there. Goku, I guess, can be white. My fault.
And he got you there, though.
Yeah. This the one time I'll be hyping up white casting when it's not appropriate. It still should have been an Asian dude.
I mean, but he is right. It is an alien. I don't know what aliens look like. I can't say that it has to be an Asian.
Yeah. But I get what you were saying, though. You're legit. Everybody's legit. But
it's anime. He just figure it's supposed to be Asian. So I feel you.
Yeah.
I was just saying, Japanese origin, at least throw somebody Asian.
And I got one more thing, and then we can get on to Venom. And this is perhaps the most egregious one. Both y'all's top 10 lists are wrong because it lacks Interstellar. I don't know how you call that.
Here we go.
List, and y'all don't have Interstellar on there.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the biggest Interstellar fan you will ever meet.
In fact, he's the pastor of the Church of Interstellar, to be honest.
There was a while I was walking around and telling people, rent the movie. If you don't like it, I'll pay you your money back. I haven't had to pay anybody their money.
My boy done gave everybody the money back guarantee.
Money back guarantee. And nobody wanted to hurt his feelings, so they were just like, "Oh, it was good, Trev. It was good."
He over there sounded like the '90s Men's Warehouse commercials. You're gonna like the way it looks. I guarantee it.
So let's get on to Venom, fellas. Venom.
All right,
Venom
let's
2.
do it.
Let's get into the positives. Trev, first thing, what you like about this movie, man? How you feeling about Venom? How you feeling?
It was okay. I wouldn't say that it was It was just okay. That's all you can say. It's definitely entertaining. Definitely entertaining.
It definitely has that for sure.
I like the casting. I can say that. I like the humor. I like the laid backness of the movie.
Yeah, that's good. Tom Hardy is legit, man. I mean, I told y'all from the beginning, like Tom Hardy is a solid Venom, and I told Isaiah, like I just feel like he's kind of wasting his talent with this. But due to the end credits, I think that we're going to get something good, and he will be useful to this series
and I'll definitely
MCU.
And I'm definitely gonna say on top of that too, like my first impression, similar to what it seems like where y'all sitting at, it was an okay movie. There's some things that are done cinematography wise that are fine, and I think the soundtrack is okay for it.
You said cinematography, CGI is still a little sloppy.
Well, I was gonna say I'm just talking about the way it's shot is good. CGI itself, there are a couple of moments in there where it's not as nice as it could be. But again, initial thought is this isn't to be frank, there isn't a version of this movie that I didn't write myself or direct myself that I think would have gave me 100%.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I will say. Like if it was, I think I had that many expectations of the movie the moment you told me that Carnage would be in it. So that means from the first time we watched Venom 1 and you introduced Woody as, as Cletus, I was like, my brains and the wheels in my brain just started turning. And so I don't think there's a way that I could have found anything that would have lived up to what I had thought about.
But you know what I've learned, bro? Go into these movies with zero expectations. And I told you that I actually stopped watching trailers now. Like I've just stopped watching trailers. I don't even do it.
I agree. They put too much in there. You see the whole darn movie before you even.
Yeah, no, you can say it. You see the whole damn movie. You absolutely right.
Yeah, go ahead and say
it. Okay. Man. We doing that? Okay, all right.
For real. You was just there. Like you was knocking on the right door. That was it.
Yeah. Don't give him too much because he will say some other stuff. But
y'all know that's me. Y'all know that's me with the bad tongue. I got to.
Think of TV 14, Trev. There you go. All right, go there. But yeah, bro, like
I get one F-bomb. I got you.
Hey, but think about like Eddie Brock and this whole Venom thing. Like it's just funny, like the chemistry back and forth with himself, if that makes sense, right? Like I think he does a good job of playing Venom, playing Brock, and then having the conversations between each other. I think that's pretty cool. So I do like that about it, which we got in the first as well, but a whole lot more of it because we got a whole lot more Venom, right, in this movie, which is pretty dope.
We even got Venom at a rave. I mean, I don't know if y'all.
That's at my negatives list once we get to that. But
but you are right though. We like both of y'all hitting the nail on the head. We asked, I think for me, especially when I watched the first Venom, we needed more Venom. Like it was just there wasn't enough. And we finally got him in more ways, whether it be the dialogue, the internal dialogue between him and
got plenty of them, all right.
Yeah, I mean, or whether it be when he was by himself, like what Trevor brought up, when he's by himself and he's out cruising the city a little bit. So there is a lot more Venom, so I got to give him some pluses there.
And that ending battle, boy, that was cool, man. Like compared to remember the first one, Trev? Like just think about it. Venom is black. It's nighttime. Like why? Like you could barely see Venom on Venom. Like it just didn't look good. Like I was so disappointed with that last battle scene in the first. I was like, nah, this doesn't work. And then like the villain in the first one, like my boy from Sound of Metal, he just wasn't selling me as being a good villain. Like he wasn't convincing to me at all. But like Woody Harrelson like works better than that.
Yeah. Like don't. Go ahead, Isaiah.
Oh, well, I was gonna say, like, I mean, you're kind of right. Like, Woody just got more charisma as a villain. Period. Like, period on the screen, he's got more charisma. So that's what I was thinking. That's why I agree with you on that statement. Did you get it, Trevor? Like, that's all I was trying.
No, that's what I was gonna say. Woody is just charismatic, and he was a great choice to be Carnage. I was a little I was expecting more when we saw him at the end of the first one, but it was still good.
I feel that way about so I mean I feel Naomi Harris does a good job too as Shriek.
She does an excellent job, but we, the audience, did not care about her and her story.
Thank you.
So it sounds like
I know that Cletus needed a reason to escape, but really he doesn't. He's supposed to be insane and just a wild card, so he could just be out in the streets wilding. He didn't need to have
no, you're right.
A woman to go get.
So in case y'all didn't realize at home, we've definitely crossed that threshold. This is the negatives now. We in that zone.
Hey guys, can I start my negatives list?
No, we in there. We just in it. Clearly, you could tell the vibe is we found out that there was a couple of things that they tried to do well and they did well, and now we there. So Trevor, I'm with you. It just wasn't necessary.
No, it wasn't. Shriek. No, and I told you, dude, Shriek. Okay, Shriek from the comics. And I hate to go back to comics or anything, but doesn't she have psychic powers? Right? She has psychic powers, and in this one, all she's doing is screaming. So. I feel like Shriek was just used as a plot device for this movie.
That's
there was
for sure.
There was nothing. There was no other purpose for her. You have a cool character, and she just screams. Really?
Well, yeah. and I think
device, nah, man, heck no.
Well, yeah, not a plot device, but then what Trevor was getting at, at the expense of Shriek in the few scenes we see her, because she's not there that often. Let's be real, not there that often. In fact, one of the egregious CGI scenes I think is when is during the last scene where Shriek is there and Michelle Williams and Annie is there, and the arm is supposed to be grabbing Annie, and I was like, "Oh, this looks bad."
Yes,
that looks really rough. But Shriek scenes, if we could have gotten rid of her, we could actually see more of what Trevor was saying. Cletus just being a psychopath. That's what you need for the first introduction of Cassidy and Carnage. That's what I feel. They served us a plot with Cletus Cassidy that would have been better for a second outing with him. You see what I'm saying? That's how I feel.
You know what's interesting? I just thought about this. So this movie to me comes off as kind of a rom-com in a way. But hear me out on this. All
right.
so I'm thinking that, all right, think about this. Venom and Brock break up, right? They get into a fight. They fight in their place. And then where does Venom go? Venom leaves him and he goes to a rave and he takes the mic and he tells a crowd of people how much he loves Eddie. And then while this is happening, Eddie is begging to his ex to help him find Venom. Does that not seem like a rom-com story to you?
I'll plead the
That's fair.
It's just
that's fair.
And what did I tell you about rom-coms, Isaiah?
I feel attacked. I feel personally attacked.
What did I tell you about rom-coms? I'm not feeling them right about now. So the fact that I got a rom-com in this movie, I'm kind of I'm not feeling that. But y'all go ahead.
Oh no, it's a double rom-com too, because of course you still got the romantic side that's happening with Cassidy and Shriek. So,
which I told you, there's no use for her anymore. Stop bringing this old relationship up. I didn't care.
To my end, yeah.
I didn't care about it that much in the first one. I don't care about it now.
That's fair.
And that's something I would take away from this, because the sequel is supposed to be bigger and better. I felt like they might have had the same budget. I felt like the studio didn't have any more confidence in it than they did when they greenlit the first one, I guess. And so anyway, there was a bunch of rehashing of a lot of the things that we saw in the first one. So of course, when 100%. Female Venom shows up again, I was like, okay, I mean, that's cool, but nothing new. I actually would have liked to see the Venom take over. Anne is her name, her fiance. That would have been fun.
We on the same wavelength. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, especially because that last scene, they talk about hey, Dan, you're cool. Venom comes out and says that. And then it's also talking about how he wasn't fully necessary though. We didn't need him. In fact, he was out, all that joke lands a lot better had you made him especially after he breaks up with Eddie, let him go to Dan. Yeah. And that's funny all of a sudden, because he's like, man, I hated you, but no, you're not too bad. He does some fighting a little bit with Dan's body. And then at the end, when he says that to him, it's funny because Eddie wouldn't have known anything about it because he was gone during that time. Yeah. And you give a nice little laugh, an inside joke between Venom Dan, and the audience. But they didn't go for that. Yeah, you're right, Trevor. I was thinking the same thing, bro.
So I feel like so we have the bickering roomie story, right?
Yeah.
Who can't stand each other, but they really love each other kind of story.
The odd couple.
So, okay, the odd couple. Wow. Yeah, exactly. I don't know, man. And then the slapstick humor, like it was just a lot of humor. It was just a lot of jokes in this movie, like way, way more than the other one. I think some of them were kind of funny, but they just got to be way too much. I feel like they were trying too hard for this movie with the jokes. Do you feel like they were trying too hard, or did you think all the jokes landed?
I don't think all of them landed, but I don't think they were trying too hard. It was about what I expected.
It's about what you expected?
It was more of what we got from the first one, yeah.
See, I felt it was, I think they were trying to up it. Yeah. My bad.
Huh.
No.
And did we ever get an explanation as to why Carnage actually hates Venom? Because I don't feel like I got that.
No.
So that's...
Carnage has daddy issues.
Yeah, that was all
the father, and he said we both can't exist. I don't know.
For what purpose? I don't understand. When you just had a movie that talked about there is a whole planet of y'all, but two of you can't exist here, didn't make any kind of sense.
That really didn't rub me the right way, that I didn't really get a real clear explanation on that. And I don't feel like there's that much at stake with Carnage in this movie. That's my opinion. Because like Carnage, like if you think about like just us watching the animated series, and if you look at some of the comics, like remember, like it took Spider-Man and Venom to stop this guy. Yeah. But I just feel like in this movie, it just wasn't that much at stake with him.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Yeah. Well, I guess that I agree with that simply because, and I'm sure y'all will probably agree too. Carnage was not Carnage. He just wasn't lethal. There was nothing lethal about him, if that makes sense. In fact, I remember one of the scenes, like when he first turns into Carnage, I'm like, yes, this should be a bloodbath. That whole place should be just splattered with blood. And no, he grabs police officers just to toss them into a cell, and I'm like, no.
Well, but this wasn't rated R, so that's probably why.
Well, that's part of the problem. This Venom 1 and 2 should have been rated R. It should have been done like Deadpool, and you should have just
done it. They
They
need to go there.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Especially
but I think we also have to stop complaining about that as well, because it's not going to happen.
not necessarily. And that's what I was about to get at. Like, they've already made a crossover with the rated R Deadpool to a PG-13, Thor character when they did like a little mini, there was some little mini clip or whatever with Deadpool and Korg. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, you've already started to lay the groundwork to be able to allow those things to overlap. Slap it on there. It's going to make the money.
The first one actually felt more R-rated, actually.
Yeah, because I was surprised that this one was PG-13, and then when I went back, I thought the first one was R, but it wasn't. So, yeah.
Yeah, no,
it felt like
so.
It.
Well, just
even though they tried to throw in the F-bomb, and they threw it in like twice in this movie, but it still didn't really feel that way.
Yeah, like once or twice, and then I think the other one feels rated R just also because of the overall tone too.
Yeah. The tone was darker.
It has a little more brooding tone, and oddly enough, this one doesn't keep that brooding tone. It doesn't feel brooding at all. In fact, most of the time. So that's interesting.
Yeah. So so I think we can all say PG-13 just is whatever. Doesn't work. But Woody Harrelson, definitely, it just not enough for him to work with, man. That was just disappointing. Yeah. Like this Cletus character, just not enough. Like, I think once we all saw that he was going to be in this movie, we were just thinking like, dang, this movie's going to be good. And him as Cletus, like everybody's expectation, as much as we try to tell it, like take your expectations out of these movies, you saw Woody Harrelson's name, you just knew that Cletus was going to be dominating this movie. You knew it. And it's like, how do you drop the ball on that? Like, it just seemed like he didn't have anything to work with.
Well, they didn't have much. They really didn't put thought into, okay, so we have Carnage here. So why are they going to, what's the conflict here? They didn't have anything.
Yeah, the conflict.
Let's put them together.
And I think there's a big struggle with it because, like, both of them never having conflict, essentially. Think about it. Like Eddie and Cletus have a little bit of conflict, so to speak, because they try to. Cletus says that he's trying to, become friends with Eddie, so to speak. I don't know if that's what it feels like in those first halves of the.
No,
I don't think I ever got.
He needs a course on communication.
Yes, because it never felt that way. It just felt like I need to get a message out to my girlfriend, and the newspaper is the best way to do it. Which, side note or sidebar, how did he know that she would see that in the newspaper as somebody who's been locked up for as long as he's been locked up, and she's been supposedly locked? That makes no sense. But
so he thought she was dead. I think he was just trying to get Eddie to tell his side of the story and kind of explain who he is and why he did all that killing he did.
That makes a lot more sense to what I was thinking, because I'm like,
no, yeah.
That's a long shot, bro.
he thought his wife, or he thought his girl was dead until on the internet or something.
And especially given the quote too. So the quote sounded like a message and the way they shot it, because he says the quote to Eddie. They show the front cover with the quote on it, and who's reading it? Of course, Shriek is reading. So I was like, is this clearly supposed to be a message? And I'm like, how? How do you know this? But I don't know. You don't have, outside of that little bit of conflict between Eddie and Cletus, Carnage and Venom, literally, they don't meet until the end of the movie. And that's a big disservice. We shouldn't be in the last 15 minutes when Venom says, "Oh crap, that's a red one." He should have said that's a red one probably 30 minutes in.
Which I think he made that same statement in the first one.
Yeah, about the white ones and the ones that weren't him, because all of them are supposedly better than he is.
Let's just say there were a lot of things that they did in the first one that they did in this one. It's just why repeat things? It just doesn't make sense. Trev, I wanted to ask you, what'd you think about the cartoon illustration showing Cletus' story on how he killed his family? Did you like it?
Yeah, I actually did like that.
Okay.
That was a good thing. I forgot to mention. I did like that.
Yeah.
I think it you didn't. I think y'all both didn't.
I mean, either show the scenes or just don't do it. What I was going to say, for the lack of content that the movie had overall, they could have filled some time by having an actual flashback. Actually, then. So, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That would have helped boost some things.
So I know for Kevin. So I just because I know Kevin, we've known each other too long. I know he would probably want to see he'd rather see a scene with a kid, taking care of grandma and the mom. That would be better. However, for me, it's not that I dislike the illustrations themselves. My thing was the way they went about the illustrations, plus what he's talking about as it's going on. I'm like, I find it hard to believe that that's the way that the illustrations are supposed to be the way that it seems to me like Eddie's putting it together in his head. But with the weird, with the weird way he's already having to read all the, I'm like, this just doesn't
That's
fit.
How you know somebody's crazy.
Yeah. I'm thinking to myself, there's no way that Eddie can even put that together like that, because it would be a struggle to read the sentences. Even Venom comments when he gets the letter, "Are you pen pals with an ant?" Because of how small and so I'm like, this is fine. I like that it was very Tim Burton-esque, the drawing and stuff, but I was like,
yeah, it was, yeah.
But I'm like, no, there's no way that Eddie's in fact, real life Eddie's going trash. He's just he's throwing that out of there. It's gone. It's instantly gone.
So what did y'all think about Carnage and Cletus working against each other? Because for me, that was just this is not you dropped the ball for me on this 100%. This just does not work.
What's that meme with Tracy Morgan? He's like, no.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, bro, that's a big it's not we, it's I. It's I.
Oh, so I'd say the symbiotes characteristically always talk with the we, right? Because they're referring to themselves and the host. But I'm like,
Cletus and Carnage is I.
Yeah, they were operating as eyes. You're absolutely right. They were operating as two separate beings. And I'm like, in fact, that was, if you wanted to make this about a relationship and anything about the relationship, the better one to pair, especially since you're making the story about, we've seen this story a million times before where the hero loses his power or loses the responsibility for a little while, then realizes, no, I need to man up. So that's what's happening with Venom and Brock. Fine. But the better way to showcase that and to make it work, foil it. You foil character it and make Cletus, and it shows why Carnage is so dangerous, because Cletus marries really well with it. And you've got to show them actually connecting. When you show them connect and build that relationship, that's what makes everyone terrified. He was already a killer. This just made him tons more lethal. It's supposed to. Now, does that happen in the movie?
So Trev, how do you feel about these changes that they do for a movie like this? I just feel like you have to keep it like something like Carnage. You just can't drop the ball on something like that. That's just my opinion. I think that you gotta show that him and Cletus were like this equally as crazy. Like it's just they are them. It's I. I don't know. That bothered me.
Yeah, I get you. I agree.
But I guess when you're not MCU and you're just Association of Marvel and you're Sony Productions, you could just do whatever the hell you want to do, basically.
I mean, I won't go that far. I mean, it's from what I hear, and I haven't read the comics myself. I hear that the spirit of the movie captures the comics well. So,
I mean, this felt like I'm gonna be honest with you. This movie felt like Schumacher's work of Batman '90s movies. That's what this is. It's not the true nature of the comics. Okay, it's not. They do make comic references in this movie, but this is slapstick, silly stuff. Let me joke around. Let me end up at a rave and then make an announcement for everybody. Like it's just silly stuff. Like it's just. I'm sorry. I'm just see. I
guess to answer your question, maybe they were just like, all right, we got Venom, we got Carnage. The people are coming to see this.
Well, yeah, it's a money grab. It's a cash grab.
I was there opening night.
I mean,
they knew that.
Fair. But we all are on the podcast.
We all went the opening weekend.
It was homework for us. That's all. That's the only reason. We was there for homework.
No, Isaiah was going to be there regardless. He was going to make that a priority.
I was. Like I told y'all, in my head, I had already mapped out how this movie was going to go, and I had to verify.
And I know we already did the positives, but I remember one more positive for this movie. It's not long. They get us in and they get us out. They get us in. They tell us the story they want to tell. It might not be much of a story, but they tell it, and then they get us out.
No,
so
my
by
brother.
the time you start to get looking at the watch and like, okay, this needs to wrap up. We wrapping it up. So that's a good thing.
My brother said that same thing to me. He saw it before I did, and he said, "Oh, don't worry. They get straight to the point. You don't got to worry about nothing."
That's how the first one is too, though. The first one
that was a good thing for the first one.
Yeah, the first one was good like that. But I mean, okay, Avengers movies are 2.5 hours. Do you ever just look at them? Do you ever just let me look at it? No, you don't do that because it's a good story.
Well, and they fill it up the way it's balanced.
I did that during the first Avengers movie, but y'all know I'm not a fan of that one. So.
Oh, okay. Well,
look, y'all.
Other MCU movies. How about that? They're all about 2.5 hours.
Don't hurt him. Don't hurt my boy, man. We just got him on the show for the first time. We like him to come back. Let him make it because he didn't like it. He wasn't.
Well, yeah, he wasn't feeling Endgame opening night either, just like you weren't. So, yeah.
Oh, I was not.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yes,
I'm not gonna go there with y'all.
See that? Rebuke him.
Yeah. Kevin,
Satan, leave him.
Yeah.
And you out of line.
You was taking shots. I'm gonna throw them back at you now. Come on now.
Nah, you out of line for trying to say that movie Schumacher Batman levels. It ain't there.
Well, no, everybody enjoyed Schumacher's movies when they came out, though. Just like everybody's enjoying, the general audience enjoys this movie, but us three know it's crap. Yeah. You may not say it's crap, but you know it's crap.
I will say that.
I won't say it's crap.
Oh, okay.
But I did enjoy it. But
I think it's
fun. It's fun. It's like whatever. It's but is Carnage supposed to be like,
No, I think for diehard fans, for the diehard fans like us. Yes, those who were reading Spider-Man comic books.
I know I'm a Spider-Man fan now, so I'm just
and that's why I said for Spider-Man fans, referring to you. For myself, Venom and Carnage are my favorite villains in the Spider-Man universe. Period. Like they're my favorite. And so, like when you think about those, we are all going to find reasons to nitpick it. I went and saw it a second time, and when I saw it a second time with when I saw it with my wife and some friends in College Station here, man, I'm telling you, everybody else who is not big time fans were like, this is fine. Like this was a pretty okay movie. Like it was pretty good to them. And I was like
I said, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm making the Schumacher comparison. Like
that's fair.
diehard Batman fans in the 90s, I'm sure they were not happy with that. But
the ones who knew better.
The ones who knew better. But general audiences are like, this is great. Just like everybody's gonna say, if you don't pay attention to that kind of, you're just gonna be like, it's cool, it's entertaining, it's fun, it's funny, it's fun.
Yeah.
And I think for that, I mean, I initially wanted to just rip this movie apart and I wanted to give it a terrible score. But I think I'm gonna give it I have to on paper what it is and what they decide to do and how it makes people feel. I can give it an okay score. I'm not going to give it as bad of a score as I was.
Shoot.
So I am curious to hear y'all score. Trevor, I want to hear your score percentage-wise. Out of 100%, what would you give this movie?
67.
A 67?
Yeah.
Ooh, wow. I thought he was going to be a lot higher.
67?
I'm really surprised. Like, I really thought you were going to be higher.
I mean, I think that's...
Yeah, my boy said that's generous.
I really thought she was going to be a lot higher, bro. Wow. I'm surprised. Okay. Isaiah, what are you giving it?
Man, for me, it is a...
And don't you change up either, because his score was actually probably like in the 80s range. And now that he heard Trevor's score, now he wants to think about going down.
Remember what the name of the podcast is. The Real for Real.
Yeah, you better keep it real.
I am keeping it real. Don't you ever disrespect my taste and my scale like that by saying I put this in the 80s. That is not the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got him mad just now.
Yeah, you did. Because there's no way. I told you, unless I directed it, unless I wrote it, there wasn't even a way to get 100. So like you were already starting off, the grading scale starts at a 90. It was already wrong. So for me, like it's somewhere, it's like a 71. It's a D. It's enough to pass the class.
That's good.
It is enough to pass the class because of all the elements that are not what I was hoping were going to be in there. And I do think that they legitimately took the first Venom and tried to up the ante. So I can't be too upset about that.
Yeah.
So 71% is what I would say.
That's good. It's a 55%.
He talking all this noise. He got the nerve to drop 55.
55.
It's a 55%, man. It doesn't do it for me.
He talking a hot noise.
It doesn't do it for me, but it's a 55 because it does it for other people. So that's good.
I can't. It sits in the same category.
I mean, look, I told y'all I'm going to be a lot harsher with these kind of movies. They spoiled me with really good MCU movies.
This ain't the MCU though. You can't judge him on the same.
No, I don't care. I'm all superhero movies. I'm going to come harder now because this is the standard. You had time to get your stuff together since 2018. You had time to get your stuff together. You had the whole pandemic to think about it.
You were saying this about like the second. You were saying this about the like second worst. That's the best way to put it. The second worst comic book movie franchise since about 2000. Like, because think about it, X-Men is the one that's struggling the most. It always seems to struggle, and I don't know why. And then this one,
Dark Phoenix. Come on now, Dark Phoenix.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm saying.
You know why.
We do. We know it's Dark Phoenix every time. But like even the ones that
try to do Dark Phoenix,
right?
No, but they even struggle a little bit before then too, right? Like when we saw X-Men Apocalypse, it didn't fit the expectations we hoped it did. You see what I'm saying?
No, it did not. No.
So I'd say that's the outside of one other family, but they only had 3 movies, so I don't count them. But like since 2000, like. The Spider-Man series is another one that keeps having some hiccups along the way. You know what I'm saying? The first 2 with Sam Raimi were great. Third one, what did he do? Then we get The Amazing Spider-Man, which was looking really good. Amazing Spider-Man 2 drops, and all of a sudden it falls out of its hands again. Venom is part of that same family. So I'm like, come on, man. Yeah. You can I'm like, you going pretty hard for the one that's already been in the struggle family. The only ones that are underneath that is Fantastic Four. Maybe
so I'm supposed to just because it's been struggling the entire time, give it a little bit more. Since they started off crap, I'm
not saying that. You just said
it's a little less crap. So let me give you a little bit more.
I'm not saying
about to do that. I ain't about to do that. I already told you. I'm getting a lot of superhero movies thrown at me. So if you're going to come with it, you better come with it. You better come with it.
Right.
I'm sitting through way too many superhero movies. I mean, I'm not sitting up here trying to just laugh and giggle watching Carnage on the screen and laugh and giggle. And I tell you what, Eddie Brock he didn't do a good job of hiding Venom at work, did he?
No. That is a major.
That is some 90s stuff, bro.
Come on. Because they were just all like, don't touch the inmate. And it was like, bro, you saw that.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I'm like, that thing just shot 60 feet, like 6 feet through some bars to grab that man while Eddie stood right there, 7 feet away. And I'm like, and the cop didn't see none of that?
I'm saying,
he probably was just like, hey, man, I clock out in 2 hours. That was like, that's going to make my day a lot longer.
Like, even the inmate tried to tell you, hey, something wrong with that man, to which his response is, shut up, Cletus. Like, it's just
I don't know. Will I watch this movie again? Yeah, I'm sure I will. But it's just, but I just
55%. You can't do that. No, if you're gonna watch it again, that means it needs to be higher. Because at 67, I don't need to see it again.
Well, you think I at least put it in a D? It's passing. I can go back and watch a passing movie. A failing grade, you can't go back.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I'd watch it again if I went over to y'all's crib or something. You had it on. I'm like, okay, that was cool.
I don't know if I would just have it on at this point.
Yeah.
And y'all ain't gonna turn it on either, and y'all gave it a pretty good score. So yeah, I just wasn't feeling it. But that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us felt it was great, to be honest. But you know what? Maybe we don't know. Maybe we the ones that got it backwards. Folks at home, you could tell us. Definitely tell us. Put it in the comments.
What you think?
Let us know what you think. You can reach out. Make sure you hit subscribe, though, first. Hit subscribe. That way you can get any type of information when we putting out new videos. Hit the bell if you want to get notified, for sure. And for sure, we want to thank Trevor for coming on. Man, how long we've been trying to push to get him on here?
Man, we hope to have more of you, Trevor.
Since the inception. You're right. We've been talking to you since we started. So hopefully we can get him on a couple more.
Yeah.
Oh,
can I plug something?
Oh, he got plugs too. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm going to be starting a better competing podcast called The Real for Realer.
The Real for Realer.
On second thought, cut his mic. I'm booting him.
Edit that part. Edit that.
Snap that out of there. No, but I appreciate it, man. We're glad to have you on here. For sure.
Yeah. It was a good time. Y'all might see me some more. Y'all know me. If anybody who knows me, y'all know I can't commit to things.
So
sound just like a brother. Can't commit to things.
Sound like Venom. Sound like Venom right there. There's that issue right there.
Oh, man. Well, we appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Definitely do. And then we appreciate y'all at home tuning in with us. This is The Real for Real. It's Isaiah, Kevin, and Trevor this time. And we all saying, y'all take it easy and have a good one. Peace.